Hello, Miss Benet. How are you?
I am, maintaining. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Oh, I've been looking forward to this, and because this is a movie that's just very eye-opening. The things that your character has to go through, in present time and past, are just it's kind of weird. Where, like you said, one's like 150 years before, but they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, this is a film that I was drawn to make because I think that it successfully connects the dots between the past, the present, and the future. And it reminds us that the past is not the past. What we're experiencing today, especially in America,
Yeah.
is directly related to chattel slavery. When you talk about racist policies, all
Hmm.
of it started there. You can't talk about police without thinking about um, during the Civil War how the slave patrol was started. That was one of the earliest institutions of policing, where they would hunt down the runaway enslaved people, and they would hunt down and terrorize any black person who was trying to revolt. It wasn't it's not an organization that was meant to protect and serve. It was meant to terrorize black people. And so that's when you hear defund the police and when you hear abolish the police, that is what we are talking about. We have to burn down those systems that are not meant to protect us and with us in mind.
Absolutely, and it's another thing where throughout a lot of times in history, people have learned different things from movies. A lot of times people always talk about, oh, movies, da 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 da. But you can learn a lot, and this is one of those type of movies that everyone, no matter what your background is, should see, because people sometimes don't understand the problem because they don't know the root and where it came from.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't know the root, and we can't depend on history. History will teach it. They'll have people saying that our lives started as black people when slavery started, and that we were migrated, or we migrated over here, or we were settlers, or whatever that euphemistic language is. The lies, and I won't perpetuate the lies. I want people to remember that when they took us, they took nurses, they
Oh, yeah.
took they took musicians, they took artists, they took writers, they took brilliant people who had passions and dreams and goals. And at the thought of it, I just get really upset and angry of what we've been robbed of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you said, the things that have been brought out, by our people in this country, like you said, it was inside of them and, to get out, but it was never like patted on the back and pushed to go forward.
Yeah, listen, I feel like that there has to be an immense amount of work because we've been fighting for thousands of years, systemic oppression.
Right.
White people need to show up, and I hope that they watch this film. And if you're doing the work, cool. If you're not, and you're in the position of power, and you benefit from all these racist policies, and you want to continue to have a racist president and a police force that continues to kill black folks, then I think that this movie is for you, because it should be a reminder to you of, one, we're not going to allow that to happen, and two, it should be a reminder that you have work to do. You need to have not just conversations with your friends and family around what your ancestors or your majority of your ancestors did, but you need to figure out what you're going to do to protect black lives, protect black women,
Hmm.
because we suffer violence disproportionately. And I think that it cannot just be lip service. It can't be hashtags. It can't just be online being outraged. No, get in the streets, get in the dirt, join the movement, read the books that you need to read to correct your racist ideologies every single day.
Right. Monet, thank you so very, very much for your time in this movie. And I'll make sure that Detroit, hears about it and gets out there. And our show host, Jason Carr, told me to tell you hello and he loves you.
Oh, hi, Jason, and thank you so much, Greg, for taking the time.
Hey,
Hey, guys, how are you?
doing well, and you?
Doing well. Good to see you both.
You.
Now, you guys are the writers, directors of this film. I just have to ask to start, how did the whole idea for this premise come up? I mean, it's just this fascinating story that pulls you in as soon as you start watching it.
We'd love to be able to tell you that it was strategic. It was not. I had an incredibly haunting nightmare shortly after the sudden passing of my father. In that nightmare was Eden, and Eden was desperately screaming for help across dimensions to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt ancestral and divine in some way. But when I got up from the nightmare, I wrote all of the notes of it, of what I had witnessed. And then the next morning, I shared it with Christopher. And that's when we put pen to paper and wrote the short story. And then the short story would eventually become the screenplay that we wrote. And the screenplay is what you experienced on screen.
Yeah, like you said, just very, moving. I mean, especially, and what's so funny is it's definitely timely, because you look at the stuff, that was happening, close to 200 years ago. And then you look at the stuff that's happening today, and it's almost like we're just wearing newer clothes, to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, tell me a little bit about, just the stuff that you put in, as far as the story and, just giving it its heart.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. We writing together, we feel, we both feel writing is such a solitary thing. And so, we don't write together until the script is finished. We don't come together on the same table. So, I'll write my pages super late at night, send them to G. He reads and edits and writes his pages and sends them to me. And we kind of go back and forth and build the story together all the way through. That I think with, our collective experiences, it hopefully is something that's new and fresh.
Yeah, it really is, because like with some of the people I've been talking from the cast about the movie, and people, when I told them I was watching, they said, "Oh, you have to tell me all about it as soon as it's over." After it was over, it's kind of like you watch it for yourself. That'll be, I think, the best way for you to get this movie. And I see you both shaking your heads, and right, I think you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The movie, we would never want to rob someone of the stunning experience it is to go in not knowing and come out on the other side of Antebellum. We're looking for people to have an experience. It should be thrillingly entertaining and disorienting, and you should feel like you just got off a hell of a roller coaster.
And it is quite the ride. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the story and this movie. Great to see you both.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you both?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too. It's great. Nice smiling faces and everything. I just got to tell you, because I'll even start with you first, Jenna. I was trying to figure out a way to describe this film. I mean, it is a thriller. It's a mystery. It's kind of like this whole group of things. What would be your best way to describe this?
I mean, for me, it's a psychological thriller, I
Mhm.
mean, it definitely there's a lot of elements of social justice and topical terms of things that are needing to be addressed. But I mean, oddly, it feels, of course it's in the genre of horror, but because, it's so interesting is what we're addressing is the topics of chattel slavery. And I mean, that was the original horror. So sometimes it's funny to sort of call it what it is, because it feels like it's even more than that, so it is a really hard film to address. I mean, I just tell people to just watch it. I feel like that's for me the greatest recommendation. When one of my friends is like, I don't want to tell you anything, just go
Right.
watch it. That makes me more excited. And they're like, well, it's this film about this person and this thing. I'm like, are you telling me the story? Because I just want to see it.
I even did the same thing after watching this. People, yeah, again, because I always will. So what's it about? And it's like, just watch it. Watch it. And because, all the characters, everybody's so different. Like Jack, your guy, especially when he was in the past, wow. It was
He's something.
Right. Words we can't say, but.
Jeez. I know it's interesting, as much as one wants to describe the film, you're serving it injustice by describing the film, because the whole point of the film is the experience.
Right.
And, I think it's such a movie, rather than talking about it before you've seen it, it's one of those movies you want to talk about it after you've seen it.
Right.
Because that's the whole point of the movie. It's to cause and you know, root out these discussions, get people like talking and speaking up and standing together. And yeah, you know, it's never easy playing quite such a reprehensibly bad, evil, malicious, mean, cruel, you know, sadistic guy is, you know, Captain Jasper. But it's a necessary evil playing someone like that. He was, for me as an actor, like it felt necessary to take him on because you know, as much as he scared me and I didn't want to let him into myself, I also understood the importance of this film and what that character serves. And you need to be shocked, you need to be horrified because it's the truth. It's a very ugly truth, but it is still a truth. It's the truth of our past, it's the truth of our present, and it could be the truth of our future if we don't, you know, stop talking.
Right. Because, you know, you're absolutely right. Because, excuse me. Yeah, because, you know, like it just said, it's kind of weird. You're watching this and it's almost like, am I watching a movie sometimes or the 6 o'clock news, you know, with,
Yeah.
you know, all the things that are going on. And hopefully people, like you said, will watch this movie, have discussions, and hopefully also it'll open some people's eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, because if anything, films are these sort of like amazing bridge, you know, creating bridges, right? It helps us sort of transcend our own personal experience and sort of enter into the experience of someone else's shoes. And I think it's so necessary for the catharsis of the, you know, trauma of living in America for the past 400 years. So however we can get there, let's get there together, you know.
Yeah, sounds good. Jack, thank you both so very, very much.
Thank you, Greg.
Great seeing you both. And as the saying goes, stay safe and look forward to seeing you again both very soon.
Stay safe, pal.
All right. Bye-bye. I was going to say, I'm, you know, still digesting, you know, the movie. Very, very interesting movie. And, you know, I've been telling everybody else, you just keep telling folks if they say, what's it about? It's like, well, you watch.
Yeah.
That is the best way. Because I'm going to say, Kirsty, I'm quite sure friends of yours have been going, oh, tell me everything about it.
Oh, no. My friends want to see the movie. So they're like, don't, because I'll start to talk about, you know, something from it. They're like, don't tell me. So yeah, we're keeping all the spoilery. No, we're keeping all of the No, I don't want to spoil it. Whatever. I don't care. Don't print that.
It's just like,
cut that part out.
Oh, no problem. It's like, just watch it on your own.
Yeah, just watch it. Yeah.
Yep. And like with you, Tanya, I'm looking at you now. You've got this nice smile, but of course, because of things that are going on with your character in the film, he really doesn't smile a lot.
No. I mean, how can you when you know you're facing a continual attack of just brutality? You know, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally. You know, there's very little to smile about, and even a smile might be taken as a form of defiance. You know, you know,
smiling about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how dare you be happy?
How dare you be happy? Obviously, we're not doing our jobs to keep you in this mutable state, like, you know, and it's, you know, it is what it is, man. And I think that's just a great example of, you know, just the general feeling for the African American right now.
Right.
There's nothing to smile about when you think about it, because, you know, we've been trying to get certain rights come our way for over 400 years. You know, it's just like, okay, I don't know what to do now, because my face will have a permanent skull because nothing seems to be moving.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it is strange when you think about, you know, I don't know, how long ago did you guys film this? A year ago, probably, or so?
Yeah.
A year ago,
2018, yeah. May of 2019, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously had no idea or vision or anything about what would be happening this year as far as everything.
Oh.
But this film, seriously, I mean, you got to say it is right on time.
Isn't it always?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the best answers I ever heard. Always it's like, yeah, geez.
Yes.
That right. but it truly is. You just kind of watch it and you're going, it's a movie. It's the 6 o'clock news. It's, just everything else, that's going on. Go ahead, Tanya. I see you got something to say.
No, I'm just agreeing. Like, it is a movie. It's the 6 o'clock news. It's the, videos on your iPhone. It's the Twitter.
Yeah.
It's it's everywhere every day.
Yeah, it does feel like if you kind of condense everything into an hour, however much time, 60, 70 minutes or 90 minutes, whatever this is, it is this movie.
Right.
It feels like if you take everything you're seeing on social media mixed with the thoughts and the narratives amongst Black Twitter and CNN and Fox, and you put them all, in a bucket, it kind of, this movie comes about and we touch on, there's so many underlying themes, and there's just like limitless, and there's endless, I think, conversation and questions if you allow it after you watch this movie.
That's for sure. Thank you both very, very much for your time.
Thank you.
And take care and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Hello, ladies.
Hi,
How are
Greg.
you both?
Hi, Greg. Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Doing well. I want to hang out in that room, Greg.
Yes. What
I
a
want to be
beautiful
hanging out
room.
with you. You look like the coolest dude I've seen all day.
All right. Thank you. That's our interview. I'll end it there. No, thank you so much. Yeah, always have a good time down here. And this is where I watch the movie. And I have to ask you both. I'll start with you though first, Gabby. I know you both get scripts all the time, and you're reading through and you're, seeing what it is. What was it like when you got this, whatever way you get it, and you're reading through and you're probably going, what the devil is going on?
Actually, I had the benefit of having this the script sort of told to me before I read it. I happened to be on a panel with one of Janelle Monáe's managers, Mikhail, and we were chit-chatting, and he just like told me about this movie, but he told me about it within the same cadence of the film and the script. And so when he got to the twist, I was like, what? Like, I was like, for real? And I was like, oh, this movie is gonna be really incredible. I just couldn't wait to watch it. I was like, that's gonna be, I was like, and when it comes out, I'm gonna know. But then he was like, really, I want you to read the script and I want you to see if you want to be a part of it. And so while reading the script, I realized it's gonna be more than just incredible. It's gonna be more than cool and dope. I thought, oh no, this movie's gonna be extremely important to watch, because if anything, it talks about the imprint of trauma and slavery and how we literally still deal with it right now.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of weird, Lily, when you think about it. I think they said, what, you guys shot this in 2018 or started then, or 2019?
2019, summer 2019.
2019. I know everything's like a blur right now. I'm shocked.
What is time, really?
Yeah.
Next week's September, and I swear I don't remember Easter. As far as
today's date is Apple. Nothing matters.
That sounds good. But just so amazing, when you guys were shooting this, of course, you had no idea of any of the stuff that would be happening this year. But my God, this is such a timely movie.
Yes, it is a timely movie, and yet we didn't know of what was to come, but certainly we did know of what had already passed, and that in and of itself made this a timely movie. And so, right now we have reached, as Gabby has said, this crescendo. It feels that we're really at a moral reckoning for our country. I still think the film would have been just as important and just as timely if it had come out that summer. But at this point, I think it's great. I'm so happy for all of the Sarahs of the world to watch this film, have it creep under their bones and force them into action, radical empathy and action. And I think that that's what this film will do for many people in this country.
And you're absolutely right, because, I've talked about it with some of the other folks here, see this like with, when I say a group or, however many people or everybody sees it whatever day, but then get together and have a conversation. Because this truly is one of those where, the three of us will be sitting around having a glass of red wine, since today is National Red Wine Day, and just talking about this film.
Yeah, today also is the anniversary of the murder of Emmett Till, and this movie is no more poignant today than it would have been then.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very this movie stretches across universes and timelines in a way that in more ways than we can imagine, really.
Absolutely. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Lily, come on over anytime and hang out here in the basement.
Careful what you wish for, Greg. I got a lot of time in my hands.
Don't threaten her with a good time.
All right. I look forward to it. Ladies, thank you both so very much.